Good evening lads, lasses and gamers of all kind. Wobble here, yours truly, as per usual. Snowballs. Those often forgotten spherical objects of wintertime joy and absolute uselessness. Or so I thought. You see, a couple of days ago I was walking home from my once-a-month grocery trip and got hit by a snowball thrown by some children. Obviously I retaliated in fairness and threw back a 1-ton snow boulder. Regardless, this encounter got me thinking. Can you beat Minecraft using only snowballs? Join me today as I will try to beat the Ender Dragon and toss Minecraft using no tools at all, only snowballs. Let's get started. To begin, I must admit to you that I jumped into this challenge completely blind. I had no idea if beating Minecraft without tools was possible or if snowballs even did anything. But hey, would it really make for a great adventure if we wouldn't just go with the flow? And for starters, we got pretty lucky and spawned in this snow biome. And even better yet, I found this neat little village nearby. I spent the day repossessing all of their goods I could get my hands on without breaking anything. That's right, I didn't plan to use my fists either, only snowball. And how could one acquire them without a shovel? Simple really. Soon enough nighttime enveloped the land and we could start seeking out creepers. Hey, there we go. This method was, however, unsurprisingly, pretty dangerous. So for the time being, I decided to seek shelter and continue the next morning. Once morning rose, a question beckoned. What would be the most logical next step? Well, since we could only use a snowball, going mining and getting ores or god forbid diamonds was pretty much off the table. So on a hypothetical timeline to beating Minecraft, we must skip that part. Then that would leave us with the next step, going to the Nether. But Wobble, you may ask, how do we make a portal without a diamond pickaxe or even a bucket? This is where the most common overworld structure comes to play. At least, it feels that way. The ruined portals. They always spawn with a chest that has a pretty high chance of containing obsidian. I spent the next couple of hours roaming around the map, looking for these portals. It was oddly nice to run free in the blocky nature of Minecraft. I should probably try it in real life too, but my 22-year streak of not touching grass is a title too honorable to lose. Stumbling upon this lone portal in the desert, I found the 10th piece of obsidian needed for a portal. I built it, lit it up using more traditional methods, and replenished my food storages by loaning a bit of wheat from the nearby villagers. At this point, I was feeling pretty damn lucky. We had spawned in a snow biome, gotten our balls locked in pretty early, and it had only taken a couple of hours to find the obsidian. But once in the Nether, our luck momentarily ran out. The fuck is this spawn? This portal spawn was indeed pretty ass. But not impossible, you see, simply because there was a nether fortress right there. I gathered up some more blocks and started making my way over. Of course, once we got there, it wasn't all that dangerous, just very highly annoying. Or maybe my methods of strategically hiding weren't all that helpful. Tough to say. Regardless, eventually we made it to a pretty well secluded place spawner, where I built this state-of-the-art gang initiation chamber to kill the places in. This is the point when I learned that snowballs actually do damage to places. But since I was a scaredy cat in the beginning, my number of balls was pretty limited. So I used them very sparingly. Technically places were supposed to wander into the hole here, but it was pretty obvious they didn't like to very much. After the 12 blaze rods needed and permanent damage to my hearing, it was time to kill some endermen. The fortress niftily resided on top of a warped forest, which just so happens to attract in a lot of endermen. Killing them was easy enough from this small shelter I made. Cause with a snowball, this took fucking ages. But eventually, I had all the ender pearls needed and could return home. Getting all the obsidian had taken me pretty far away from spawn. And since I didn't really own anything useful, I just grabbed what I had and started running back towards spawn. When I was about 5,000 blocks from spawn, I stumbled upon an ice spike biome. I decided to fix my mistake of not enough balls in my life by spending the next night using the foolproof ball acquisition method. Once my inventory was filled with snowballs, I casted the first eye. I traveled through scenic mountains, trying my very best not to die, and more often than not, it was the game's own integrity that took a hit, rather than me. As morning rose once again upon this frozen landscape, I dug down to look out for the stronghold. This, as many things, could have probably gone with less stress, but what's an adventure without a little danger? Right. Yeah, there it is, let's go. Ow, what? Okay, fuck you, I'm going in. And so the fight was on. I used the snowballs to destroy the crystals and climbed on top of one to get a better line of sight. Going down, however, was a totally different task. Oh my god. After the last crystal, it was go time. Slowly but surely, we were chopping her down. Except something was wrong. I could have sworn those were hitting the dragon. And yet, no damage. Then and only then did I decide to check the wiki. Snowballs don't deal damage to the Ender Dragon. And they haven't done so since 1.9, which was released in 2016, around 10 years ago. God, I feel old. Well, shit. Guess we'll have to do this the hard way then. Well, what do you know? That was easy. Hitting us. Wait. Oh. In the end, I did end up beating Minecraft. I got myself to the end and, well, almost back using only snowballs as my tools. Guess the moral of the story is that snowballs are still pretty useless. Thank you so much for watching, this was a little different from my previous videos. I like making these videos with a more refined storyline and I hope you enjoyed watching it, because more are definitely on the way. As per usual, if you like this video, like and subscribe, that way I know to make more of such content as this one. Hopefully you had amazing holidays and a prosperous new year, and I will see you in our next adventure. Take care.